If you are a JavaScript developer, you must have come across these web APIs called setTimeout and setInterval. So basically both of these do the exact same thing, almost the exact same thing. In this video, we are going to talk about setTimeout and setInterval, and we are also going to see how setTimeout and setInterval can make your website vulnerable. So without any further ado, let's get straight into it. So there was this thing called eval. There's this JavaScript function which is called eval. What it used to do is it used to let you allow, not used to, it also it still exists. It allows you to execute code inside it. So you can wrap anything inside of eval and it will be executed. So this is how it goes. This is the syntax, which means eval script. This is the function, and inside the function you put the script. Right inside this brackets you put the script, and the script will be executed. So let us just try this, just to show you an example. Let's go to this one. Let's go to inspect and go to console and just paste this. Allow pasting. Okay, done. And right now just paste it, and let's just do 2 plus 2 and hit enter. And as you can see, this code got executed. Now you can also do 2 plus 2 4 over here, right? But this is what we are doing inside the dev tools, developer tools. So this is where you have the full control. But in a website, let's say you are in a website like this and you have this input thing. If you enter 2 plus 2, it will not be counted as 4, right? So eval is a thing which also have eval is a function which allowed this thing, and that is why you can also see in the Mozilla Developer Network MDN docs, MDN web docs, you can see executing JavaScript from a string is an enormous security risk. It is far too easy for a bad actor to run arbitrary code when you use eval. So never use direct eval, right? So you can click on it and you can see the entire thing, that using direct eval suffers from multiple problems. Eval executes the code, right? So this is what we know. This is what is exactly mentioned in the MDN web docs. So if you read the docs, you can get to know that, okay, so we should not use eval directly. But in case of setTimeout and setInterval, there is nothing as such mentioned over here, right? If you just go to the top in the eval, you can see this warning right at the top. But in case if you go to setTimeout, setInterval, there is no such thing. There is no such thing in the case of setTimeout and setInterval. And in setTimeout, how the syntax goes is right, it goes like this. setTimeout, you have a callback function, you have a function inside a function, and inside the function you write the logic or the log statement, whatever that is, and then you put in the delay, right? But if in case if you don't use the function over here, and if in case you put the direct code over here, even then it will get executed. So why exactly do we need to enter a function, and we cannot just directly put the code inside over here and then enter the delay? So you can also do that. So let's just copy this code and paste it over here. Now instead of doing this, let's just hit enter and do this. You can see delay for 1 second, right? So instead of doing that, let's just write the code over here. Instead of doing this thing, set log, we can just put the string or the eval over here, or the code over here, instead of putting it inside a function. So let's just do that. Before doing that, let me show you a website that I just created. What you have to do is, this is a basic simple app just to show you the demo of how it works. So this is a greetings app, and you have to enter your name to get greeted. So let me just enter any random name, or in this case my own name, and if you click on get greeted, it shows hello, your name, right? But how this works is, if you go to this code, I'll show you a vulnerable code. This is a simple React app. You can see there's this import useState from React, and inside the function we have two state variables, which is inputs and set input, and greeting and set greeting. Input and set input is to, whenever you set the input, whenever you type the input in the input field, it gets set up into the set input. And greeting and set greeting is in by default the greeting is null, and if you enter your name, it will set the greeting to the greeting text and it will render it on the screen. Now you can see this is the return, where everything that will be rendered on the screen is present over here. And now what you can see over here is it captures the input from the input field, and it uses set input from the state variable to set it to the input, right? And there's the set greeting, which is hello, and which is directly capturing the input for over here and rendering it to here. Now as you can see, we are just directly passing the input over here, and we are not doing anything as such, like the direct input from here to here. And as you can see, this is the set timeout over here. This handle run is the function that will be executed on click. So till now everything is fine, but if you look at set timeout, here we have input and 1000. This is the delay, as we have seen in the Mozilla MDN, that this is the delay, and we have a callback function inside which we have this code or the logic to be executed, right? But in this case we cannot see any such thing. There's no function inside the set timeout. There's just input which we are directly using it from here to here. So is this going to be a problem? This is definitely going to be a problem, because if you just look at this, it has no callback function. It is directly using the input from here to here. In that case, if you go to this and if you just put in anything which is JavaScript, it will be executed. So in this case I have used alert to prompt an alert over here, and click on get greeting. You'll get to see localhost says 1, which means this got executed in the background. So that is a problem. So here comes something called as XSS. XSS stands for cross-site scripting. It is a type of web security vulnerability that allows attackers to inject malicious scripts into a website, which can then be executed by other users' browser. So there are different kind of things that you can do over here, which is I have this thing called a webhook. If you go to this website called webhook.site, it will give you a random unique URL that you can just copy from here, and you can paste it over here. So what this does is, this is kind of a keylogger, which means whatever key you press over here, that will be that will do a webhook call, and you can see whatever keys the user is pressing on the website, on the random website. So if a website is vulnerable to this kind of thing, that lets you execute JavaScript code on their website, you can inject JavaScript code in the website. In that case, that is vulnerable to XSS or cross-site scripting. In that case, what you can do is you can capture keystrokes, you can steal cookies of the user, which you can use to log into the site, log into the accounts without username or password or stuff like that. So let's just copy paste this to the website for the demo, and if you click on get greeting, this will be printed over here just as usual. This is nothing fishy, and you cannot see anything on this thing right on the screen. So we have injected this code in the website to the website, but we cannot see anything. Let's just clear this thing and let's just type in something hello, right? We don't need to click on get greeting. Even if we click on get greeting, nothing happens. So as you can see here, we have this five requests that we have got over here, which is you can see L O H E LLO. So these are the requests. It got messed up a bit when it was sending, but you get the point. So it became kind of a keylogger, right? So whatever keys that the user is entering on the site, it will be executed. It will be captured and the webhook will be called, and you can see all the letters over here that the user entered. Now we can modify this piece of code, to wait for a certain amount of time and then send in the keystrokes. That way we do not get part of the information each request, but we get the entire text in just one request. We can do that, but that is not the point. The point is in set timeout and set interval you can do stuff like this. If the developer is careless, they can do something like this, and it will leave the site vulnerable to cross-site scripting that will let the attacker do a variety of things which can which basically allows the user to, or a threat actor to, inject JavaScript code and just compromise the data of your users. So but in eval you can see there's this warning right at the top of the page, but in case of set timeout and set interval there's no such thing. Most developers just think that you can just do it in this way, but even if you do it in this way it works. And on the visibly there's not much of a difference, and there's no problem visibly, but if you look deeper into it there's a lot of problem with it. It just works basically like eval, which already has a warning at the top of the page. So yeah, this is all about today's video, and just to let you know that if you don't want this to happen, just use the normal syntax and don't directly put input over here. If you just do that, it will leave the site vulnerable and allow users or malicious actors to put in or inject code into your website, and that is not a good thing. That will leave your site vulnerable. So yeah, this is all about today's video.